taking their precious time to join this session. Yeah, first, a warm welcome to all the audience who have taken their precious time to join this session, that too on Sunday. Mm. So, uh, uh, just to kick off this session, learning French as a foreign language. Uh, so here, um I'll take you through the journey of the the purpose of the foreign language and how to keep up the foreign language once you learn it, and then what all the benefits of the foreign language, and then just some of the sentences and the words of the basic French. Um, and here, um, is- first of all, I would like to uh, say a few things on the foreign language, especially for Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and then Sri Lanka. These people have a natural habit to learn a new language. For example, in our country, we have vast language. Uh, we have large number of people who are speaking versatile languages. So by birth, we have uh, not by birth. We say mother tongue. We don't say father tongue. Okay, you might have noticed this in whenever we go to fill any applications. If I still remember my school application, they give a tick mark to put what is your mother tongue. So basically, why we say mother tongue? Why not father tongue? Anybody here, please? See, this is. I believe in two-way traffic, no one-way traffic. So please, no question is a silly question. Uh, so please, this has to be an interactive session. So I am not the teacher or a professor, and you are not the students. So we are here to have a beautiful session and a very. This should be a co-learning. So please, you can react to my question. Why don't we say no and not father tongue? Why we say mother tongue?
Well, is it because it is the language of a primary caregiver, right? We grow up around person who speaks that particular language. That person takes care of us as we grow up. So that is where we pick up the language from. Like no matter what part of the world we are in, the language used by the people surrounding us is what influences our growth. So is that why it is called the mother tongue?
Okay, thank you. Any other one, please? Any any other different opinion from this? Yes. Uh, thanks for your reaction. So basically, why we say mother tongue? Because that is the first place where we connect to any of this language. For example, so the baby, just to give an example towards the baby and the mother, the baby first connects with with his mother, not towards the father. Okay, so there is a one is biological connection, and then another is if when there is a bond, because she takes care more when a child borns. She gives more time to her kid. So baby starts connecting with her mother, and then he or she starts grasping the words what his mother speaks. So even in our uh, homes we could observe this kind of things. So thanks for this reaction. So now here, see, I would like to highlight some benefits of, of a new language, of a foreign language. So uh, even when I was making this presentation, I was a little surprised to see this many benefits are there in a learning a foreign language. Okay, basically it's beyond communication. It's not only a communication. So we just say language is is just a but so it's beyond communication. Uh, so basically the first thing is what I it impressed me is it enhances the cognitive abilities. So the process of understanding and the information in and around us, we can process it in a much efficient and better way. So and another the main advantage or the benefit is the cultural understanding. Language brings the culture behind it. Language is is the fundamental of the culture. So and there are lots of positives in each of and every culture. So you can think of when you basically when you learn a language, you connect with that culture. It is not just the uh, front face of it, but you you connect deeper with the person. I will give some of the examples and one of the case study of uh, uh, one of the case study of also in little later. But so what are the positives of the culture? So you might have gone through some of the languages what we learn even in our country, but even in a foreign language. So there are lots of behaviors which impresses us, and one is to make our life better. So see, one is all these things, learning is to make our life better. So and then create a better environment for us and for each one of us who is in and around us. So and then it's create basic it's boost the creativity with increases. So basically when our brain, so when you create a pattern in your brain, it becomes a habit. Anyone, any reaction on this, please? Basically, what is a habit? Any?
So it is like a muscle memory. When you start practicing something, it comes very naturally to you over time. So I think that's what you're trying to convey.
Yeah. So yes, thank you. So basically, what is happening? What happens is when you practice something, any new given thing for a certain amount of time, and then it creates a pattern in your life. So your memory reads, it's a programming. You are programming your brain that this is a new program, and it creates a pattern and it starts acting in your unconsciousness. So but here when you give a new thing to your brain, it disturbs the pattern. So then what happens, your memory power increases. When you are for example, I know only English, and then no then I start learning on German or any new foreign language, or even in any of the Indian our own countries, any of the other languages, any other state languages. So your complete memory, not only memory, your even your tongue, your tongue starts behaving different, because you have never spoken in your life. I still uh, have experienced this. When I first time went to China on a business trip to Shanghai. So before my usual practice is whenever I go to any of the places, I start understanding about their culture and then note down few of the words just to use in a daily basis. So when I started to write to learn few words in the Chinese, I still remember my tongue couldn't twist that word, because you are asking your tongue to read it first time. Because so it it enhance, basically it's you are making your brain more creative. So and this will make you a better person. So creative people, you know what they could do, what he or she could do to the world and to them and to in and around us. So this is one of the thing. And then of course when you learn any of the culture, you can also think from that culture point of view how to solve a problem. So and then as just I was saying about this, uh, whenever we learn a new language, or not only a new language, any new thing in your life, you need to memorize something. So when you memorize, see, basically what happens is, memorization power, it's it is very in the high range when you're in the lower age, much younger. Okay, we might still remember in our golden age, when we are between below 8th or below 7th, we could have memorized the poems, we could have memorized the theorems. So mm, so it means you are giving a shock to your brain, and also you are making your brain much stronger. So when you learn new languages, you have to memorize few of the words. So you are making, basically, not only your biological power memory power increases, but your physical thinking capacity will also increase. So, and then once you start learning a new languages, and once you start delivering it, meaning you will become confidence, you will gain confidence, and then you will have your own thinking that yes, I can do something. I could do, we could achieve. uh, any reaction on this, on the confidence part, and then um, about the creativity, how? Floor is open, please do not hesitate to react on this.
So yeah, it is an acquired confidence, I believe, because once you start getting uncomfortable while you learn, and once you start learning the language and you progress, uh, that confidence should develop, and you would be better at expressing yourself. So that challenging aspect of the process is something I believe which pushes you to achieve more,
True,
right?
very true, very true, very
Like
true.
for example, we might be hesitant while learning to drive a car, and it might be scary in the beginning, but once we start doing it again and again, it just becomes a habit, and you don't feel uncomfortable anymore.
Very true, very true, thank you. And then I just gave a few hint on the above, the empathy, meaning when you we I still remember, I don't know who has said this, but when you learn a new language, and when you speak, when any communication which is done on their local language, people receive better, far better than the foreign language connection. So, for example, you might have seen, whenever in delegates visits, for example, from any of the countries, they have the translator with them. Okay, so the field, the the basically, I still remember one of my manager had said, "What is communication?" We were just discussing this. So then he gave a very good example. He said, "See, communication is not just you transfer your information; is how other person has understood what you're saying." So basically, you can connect deeper with the person. You can understand what they're because each and every language teaches you the acceptance and then the behavior of the people. And then finally, yes, there are this creates the opens the door of the employment opportunities, because it opens the door of the globe. So you can travel, and then get the better opportunities, and then your networking skills improves. You can connect with the global platform. You can have an international exposure. So this comes at why I have put the intentionally, I had put this at the end, not in the first end, because we need to understand what it requires for this. So these are the benefits. I just wanted to put this slide in the first and not at the end, because we need to understand what we could achieve by learning a new language or any foreign language. Now, what are the various ways or the approaches to learn a foreign language? One is, we need to immerse myself, immerse yourself, meaning what? You should surround with the environment that you can gain much and more and more with this. You meaning you need to hear more and more. For example, if I'm learning a French, I see, basically the ways to learn any new language, any foreign language is, you should hear more and more that foreign words. One is through through ears, and then you have to speak more and more. Your tongue have to make use of to pronounce those words, because the phrases is very different. Okay, the might be French, French is in, has the most number of English alphabets. Okay, but the same alphabets used in French and making a sentence, and then the same alphabets used in English and which has been making a sentence is completely different. For example, I'll just say uh, Sylvain. In English we pronounce it as Sylvain, but in French they pronounce it as Sylvain. So this is very important, because this comes when you when you practice more with your tongue, and when you hear. And other thing, you have any new language, any foreign language, you have to observe mm, the facial expression, very and the two in French. French people, when they speak, they express more than what they do. So expression matters more in French. So you can Google it, or you can do more and more research on it. But with my experience, what I have seen is French people connect more expressions with their language. So expression is very much importance for them. So, and then another point is, see, we need to have a language exchange, meaning what we usually do is, see, in any given, we might have our networking, where we need to identify who speaks in French language or any foreign language we would like to learn. And we need to, even if we know a language between both of us which is common and which we fluently speak, we still we have to speak with them in a French, so that my language continues. The best way to learn a new language is, do not hesitate to speak in language with the people who knows the language better. For example, when when I was there in France for 2012 or 2011, first I went to France in 2011. Then I was a little shocked, because that time the team which they have given to me to work with, or more over 40 plus, and they are completely French, meaning they do not speak in English. This kind of team they had given, but actually it worked to me in a positive way. First, I was little disturbed how to communicate with them, and then there was one employee, one of my colleague, uh, who knew in English. But I told, because my major role was the project coordinator. I had went there as a project coordinator. I need to had to coordinate with the French R&D team, research and development team, and then cascade this information toward to the 3 or 4 countries. So, but I was finding very difficult in the initial stages. Then one of my colleague told, Parveez, you need to start learning French. I did not take it seriously, but still, I said, no, English could be fun, because we are writing an email communication in English. But she said, see, if you want the information what they have to give in a better way, you need to connect with them in their local language. Then I tried, but actually this was I saw this happening. So start speaking with them. This is the most I recommend. Do not hesitate. Even if you first you tell them, see, even if I don't speak properly, please do not my, ignore me. Please give me the feedback. Yeah, this is one of the important thing. Do not hesitate to collect the feedback. When you learn a language, when you speak with others, do not hesitate to listen to the feedback. even if it is wrong or right, please get the feedback with them. And then we might have learn many stories when we were kids. We might, for example, a Jungle Book or any of the rhymes. Take that book in a language what you would like to learn. For example, French. Why? Because our memory understands the story in English, for example, or any of your local language. When you start reading that story in a French, you can able to correlate the words easily. This I have experienced a lot. Any reaction on this? Anyone here? So other point is travel. So, and today's technology has so much has made learning so much easier, that there are many learning apps. You have Duolingo, you have many apps, and actually it has a virtual connection. So it is not only theoretical. They give some of the images and then they ask you to pronounce it. So it has become very easier to learn in connecting to a technology and to learn a new language or and learn any new things. So at the end I say we need motivation. See, this is not a magic stick. Okay, learning a French language or learning a foreign language is not a magic stick. It takes time. Okay, it takes time. So when I started to learn a French, uh, initially, I'm not exaggerating this. Hello, yeah, yes, anyone? Uh, so what I was saying is, initially for 3 months, I was completely silent. 3 months completely silent. I still remember those uh, working lunch what we used to have. My complete team was 16 to 20 people, all in French colleague, and I was one among them. And then, but I did not take it as a uh, demotivation. I took as a motivation. I said, in lunch, I'll just listen to the words, how they speak, how they connect with each other, and what the expression they do. For 3 months, I was just listening to them. But when I went home back, I started connecting the words what they speak during the lunch. Okay. So for example, I'll just give you this example. So there is a glass of there, there is a water jug, and then there are glasses. So a colleague will ask, um, I was just here understanding their how they pronounce. For example, you are, can you, could you please give me a glass of water? Okay, usually this is what we say when you have a, when you ask them. So then I observe this. Okay, this is what they say for the water. Sometimes these words would have been exchanged, because it takes time. So basically for 3 months completely silent. Then the motivation is the real factor which plays around this. Sometimes you might lose the confidence, but no, you have to tell yourself, yes, I need to take it as a challenge. uh, so take it as a challenge, be motivated, and then these are the few things. There might be lots of other ways to learn a language, but consistency is very much needed. Okay, if you learn a language, see, all the courses which is there in the market, they will teach you how to learn a language, like for a spoken English, spoken French. But keep to keep up the language which is there in my next slide, it is only you who can do it. Okay, so any new given thing which is been not practiced, then we will easily forget. So practice regularly, talk to the people who knows French, for example. And other best possible thing is what we can do is in our own IT companies or in any of the environment, identify people who knows these languages, and then talk to them, usually have a coffee with them or have a casual conversation with them, and then connect to with them with one of the topic which you would like to discuss. For example, you see, there are two things. One is your general speaking, like say for example, just a general conversation like how are you, what you do, and this is. But if you want to go little more further to for example, to a doctor, if he or she as a doctor, if they would like to learn a language as a French and then speak in their professional career, then they would have to discuss their technical terms as well in French. This is more important. I see people today in our company, they could able to speak in French in general conversation, but when they come to yeah, any technical illustrations, they speak in English. Then I told them, see, you have a grasping power, you have built a new quality with you. Why don't you practice this even in your technical terms? This is very much important. So we tend to give some confidence less here, but speak the language everywhere, even in your technical conversation, even in your general conversation, and also even with your religious books. So very much important. So I used to connect mostly with religious books as well, because I know some of the religious books in my own language like English and Urdu and other languages. But when I started to learn in French, read in French, it I my unconscious brain used to tell me that the word what you're reading in French, this is the meaning of it in English. So initially what happens is, I'll give you this very good logical framework of a language, how it starts. I would like audience to react on it. In first initial stages, your memory will read it in a foreign language, but the outcome, meaning the understanding of the word, will be translated in your mother tongue initially, in your the language which you are have the more fluency. Am I correct here?
Yes, so that's how you frame sentences, right? You think your own in your own language and then try to translate it, and like vice versa, you try to perceive it that way.
Okay, yes, you're true. But when you want to become a master in a language, your brain and your memory should also think in the same language. So this one of my colleague told me in France. So then now this comes on a practice, and when you become a more master on the any of the languages. So you are, when you read, for example, when you read any foreign language, say for example when you say bonjour in French, your memory should not tell, oh he is, it's a good morning or a good evening. Your memory should say yes, it's a bonjour. So this comes at the last, so the like it's the higher level. So initially your brain will start having a translator inside you. Okay, so whenever you read, you have a conscious translator, but it has to go with unconsciousness. And so be patient, and then uh, other practice what we need to encourage it. Uh, when you walk, meaning when you have your own time, own space, listen to the audiobooks. Why? Because uh, the more you listen, your internal organs start behaving like it, and in unconsciousness your tongue will start phrasing those words. This is most important to learn a new language, because the spelling of a bonjour, in English I'll just pronounce this bonjour, bon. It has here, I guess. Yeah, if you see here, I don't think it I'll just need to I just enlarge this image. I don't think no, this might be a good. You're able to hear, see this slide, please. You're able to see the
Yes,
slides.
sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So here, if you see, the spelling of this word is Bonjour, and in English speaking person can pronounce this bonjour. Okay, but in French, it's not bonjour, so it's bonjour. So you are able to identify the difference. You see the difference. What I see here, what is how I pronounce. Bonjour is in English, bonjour is in French. So the letter R, the pronunciation of the letter R, which what we say in French, it's a R. So here you see R is different. We pronounce in English and we pronounce R in French. So this you cannot gain this power only in reading. You have to listen more and more phrases. So there are lots of audiobooks. There are lots of. I still remember when I started learning this language. Um, I used to watch cartoons, Timon and Pumbaa, because I could connect much better, and also it's a little meaning it's not boring. Uh, so what I say is connect with those ways to learn the languages where you feel comfortable. For example, I'll give you another example. See, if you want to make your improve your fitness, people might say, okay, I need to go to gym, but if you are not motivated, if you are not enjoying the gym, you will leave the gym for some after some days. Okay, there are other fitness area, but for example, if I'm enjoying the to play tennis, then I can gain my fitness using tennis. Okay, so and if I'm enjoy if I want if I am enjoy if I enjoy cycling, then I can improve my fitness using cycling. So this there are we need to connect to the mode of language learning where we can enjoy, because if you're enjoying, you learn. This is what um, I teach to others, and also I practice. If you enjoy anything, you learn and you grow and you improve. This is the best what I have learned in my career. So even in our even in our companies or enterprises, we just say, after some point of time, we say I'm not enjoying this. I'm done. Done with this domain. I Give me more challenging. Why? Because you are not enjoying. So the time where you don't enjoy it, it's done. So and see here, you, other the best other see, this is from the Berlitz France Francais. This is one of the source of material. Mm, you, you- so if you, for example, you say here, there is one image where is sunrise, and then in the below they have written one word. So so learning a new language, please do not have a translation book. No, meaning in the above sentence, for example, here you might have good morning, and below you have bonjour. No. And this will make you a lifetime to use a translation when when you are when you have to learn a language. So please learn a language with a foreign um, language itself. Even I had took some classes in France. She was completely in French. The first rule to enter that classroom was come with only to learn a new French language. Meaning, she would have my teacher. She would have not. She didn't speak to me in English in the complete uh, course of the course. Completely, she taught me in French. So at initially it gave me some of the I was resisting, um, because initially I was not able to connect with her, and initially I was not able to understand the words, but later on I was able to grasp and figure out. Yes, that is so. Basic fundamental is, please do not use it translation books where you have a language written. For example, for this they would have given, say, good morning, and below here bonjour, and here good evening, here bonsoir. So please use the material and the resources where there is completely a new foreign language. So here, this I had just here, just of the basic glimpses what I have shown here. For example, here you see we have here it says the sunrise with this, and here we say bonjour, and here there is an evening with the same. And then we can, even a person who doesn't know the French, after seeing this image and the word is bonsoir, at least he or she could tell bonsoir. Later the pronunciation will come. Do not hesitate, or do not feel less confidence when you see that you are not pronouncing the words it should be like. For example, when when we start to learn this, we say bonjour, no problem at all, go ahead. When there are two things, when you practice your new language or French, you will say bonjour, no problem at all. When you hear this other person saying that, okay, this is not bonjour, this should bonjour, then you will start developing this practice. Any reaction on it? Any reaction on this, please?
So
Right
is
concept, sir.
there a different set of alphabets where you could like maybe learn? Like I know like French is not typically written with English alphabets. So is there a different set of pronunciation that requires attention here?
Yeah, yeah. For example, I'm just trying here. The letter R, what is there in here? If you see in this slide, there is letter R. The pronunciation of this is here. For example, I'll just say, read it in English, French. A, B, C, D, E. E, they pronounce as U, and F, G, hash, E, J, K, L, M, N, U, P, Q, R. See, this is a completely different. This is never closer to your English pronunciation. So in any of the words where there is R, you have to make that word different from the English. For example, see here, this is the only word which is creating the difference between the English and the French pronunciation. If you pronounce this word in an English, it will say bonjour, but when you practice this word R in French, then the pronunciation of this word completely changes. It says bonjour. So this is how we need to practice it. So, and for example, here there is all the rest of the words remains the same. There are few special words which is there here. I don't know whether I have captured it. Mm, uh, it's not captured, but yeah, for example, you see here, these kind of words are specially special words. So this could be written as like this, and instead of this, the replacement of this will be E, Z. So this will be pronounced in French as enchanté. So for example, if you see this, bonjour, here it is bonjour, bonsoir. And here, what they're doing here, can anyone tell with this image what is happening, what activity is happening here?
Meeting and greetings.
Yes. So why we need to correlate with the images? Because we know what is the object or the subject, what is happening, and then when you read this, okay, your brain will start telling, okay, this they are greeting this, because you know what is happening. So for example, this je m'appelle. So bonjour, je m'appelle Ahmed. Bonjour, je m'appelle Parveez Ahamed. Then there is enchanté, monsieur Saif, je m'appelle Ahmed, enchanté, mademoiselle. For example, there are two, the other very different, which is completely different between English and French is, uh, here we in English we call madam and sir for any uh, in any sentences for any female to greet to any female we say madam or ma'am. Short form of madam is ma'am. And then in in and then to any male to greet them we call it as sir. And in French for male it is fine, it is monsieur, monsieur. There is no difference, but there is only one word. But in other for the female, the female who has married, the greeting is different. The female who has unmarried, greeting is different. So so it is little funny for me when I started to learn this. So because to one of my colleague in France they said mademoiselle, and next then another female was next behind it, and the female candidate, and they were saying uh, madam. Then I say I then I for this for few days I did not understood this. Then I asked her why did she call you like this. Then because these no this these are deeper thinking, meaning you have to make the differences of the words what they use. So this you are able to only learn by seeing it through your eyes and hearing it. So they call mademoiselle female who are unmarried, and to married female they call it as madame.
So
So
is it equivalent to Miss and Mrs. in English?
no, 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 not at all, not at all. It is
Okay.
completely different.
Okay.
So there are few letters what they use. For example, um, here I was just saying this acts as a enchanté. So, and other the major difference between English and French for how they use English, we say how are you. In French we say, for example, I'll say how are you, we say how where it is, yeah, here you see we for why I said do not use a translation book. This is why here we say in French comment ça va. Are you fine? This is if you translate natural meaning, if you translate as it is, then you are translating in English as a are you how. This doesn't make sense in English, are you how, but in French it is como ça va, meaning for example you say in other in Arabic, mostly this has the sentence making logic as in Arabic. The sentence making logic of French and sentence making logic of Arabic is the same.
Okay, so would the grammatical principles apply here too, like in Arabic?
Yes, yes, very much.
Great.
Actually, the the letters, there are few of the letters which you have to pronounce with your from your bottom vocal, and some
Okay.
of the words which you have to pronounce with your epiglotics. So, for example, air. So, and another, for example, you have we say Wednesday, we call in French as mercredi. So it is not from your completely full mouth. You have to use your inner vocal to pronounce that word mercredi. So here, if a people who knows Arabic and some and Urdu with some of the words pronunciation, French is a little easier for them. So I say this to many people. So people who knows why in France there is an influence of most of the Arabians like Tunisians, Algerians, and Moroccans. For the, I try to talk to them, and they say for them speaking French is very it's natural for them. It comes very easily. Why? Because the words pronunciation is logic. The same logic applies how it's in Arabic. So when initially in our office, what we do is whenever a French colleague initially in the early days, when I was not aware about the French language, so we used to copy and translate in Google. You know how sometimes generally general like how are you, all this Google will translate, but when you put technical terms, no, still Google is not programmed, that Google that doesn't have that Google translator still doesn't have that programming skill to translate the technical terms, how exactly they've been pronounced. So so most of our colleagues still feel difficult because for some of the user guides and instruction sheet which is there in French, they copy it and then translate. Sometimes it is very difficult to understand. So here learning language even in the technical parameter is also very important. Yeah. So for example, you see here there are the images which is been highlighted here, and then they say this. For example, here they're saying Jacques Leconte est avocat. For example, say advocate. So here you see in French, a, v, u, c, a, t. They will not pronounce the last word. This is the major difference in French. Huh? They will not pronounce the last words. If there is a word ending with e, then that last word would be pronounced. I'll show you if I have someone. Say for example here, Jacques Leconte est avocat and Marie Ludec est médicant. Meaning medicine. They do not pronounce this because the word is not ending with e. Say here, for example, here it says Paul Garnier est informaticien. So another some of the key differences I'm highlighting here. Here there is, they will link this T and I, and then they pronounce these words. So there are some logic behind this. Um, inshallah, uh, will planning to start this courses as well, just to give some of the kickoff. So, so first is start reading books, whichever content you like, whatever content you know you can enjoy it, and start today. You have many of the audiobooks which you love and enjoy in your English, in French as well. Start hearing to them, listening to them, and then start talking to people, general conversations, and identify any of your colleagues who knows this language better, and then start learning with them. So these are the few modes of learning a French language. So here you can see this other difference. What I would like to highlight, I'm not able to get here whether it's there. Mm, like in English, we have few sentences. Uh, in French, it is completely different. So, there is a major difference in the English and the French. I would like to highlight few things. Yeah, another point is, I just forgot, sorry, but another point is start learning the verbs. Verbs will make you frame sentences. So start learning verbs. Make cards, flashcards. Okay, write down few of the words, verbs. For example, what do you call monitor as? What do you call a pen as? in French. See, for example, here it is written stylo, crayon, tiroir, chaise, table, tasse. So, ordinateur, portable, téléphone, ordinateur. See, there is written here, and then there is a word over here, and you can correlate with this. Ordinateur is your monitor, portable, portable, and then you know what we telephone, and then stylo is pen, crayon, pencil. So chaise, your chair, table. See, table. This is the same. There is no difference. Some of the sentences are completely as in English. Table. There is no difference in English and writing and French writing, but the pronunciation very different. Table we pronounce in English. Table they pronounce in French. I I just told you a few minutes back that the word which is ending with e, they they pronounce that word completely. Table. You see, there is a pronunciation of t, there is a pronunciation of a, there is a pronunciation of b, there is a pronunciation of l, and also the word is ending with. So they are pronouncing this word l. When the word is ending with e, then the the letter before the e, that letter will be pronounced completely. For example, table. You see the letter l is being pronounced. You can make out the voice of the letter l here. And for example, here you see tas. The 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 s is not silent here, it has been pronounced fully. Here, for example, here you see montre. The letter r before e is pronounced full, it is not silent. R montre. So these are the few of the major differences between English and French. So start practicing this. It is not a first I started a few words. What I was saying is it's not a big challenge to us, because to the Asians learning a new language is very easy. Okay, so because our mother tongue is different, due to the environment we learn Kannada. Then we further go to schools, we learn English. Further we go to shift to other states, and then we learn Telugu, Tamil. Okay, then similarly when you go abroad, you learn international language. So having an international language in your career gives you a huge global platform to present yourself. So still, uh, uh, I- I'll tell you, not to be exaggerated, but you will get a good exposure in your company when you connect, have an international language, and when you connect with your colleagues in an international language. So because most of the people hesitate to learn, and they uh, they learn, they'll start, but they'll give up. But start practicing it, be consistent, allocate specific time only for learning a new language. Allocate specific time, a daily basis or a weekly basis. Allocate specific time. Actually, this has happened to me. Has happened to me. In after 2013, 1.5 year, I was not in a international projects. I was in local projects. I had lost my fluency in French. I completely lost. But then I realized that I had this gift which is been given to me after taking this. But then I said no, I need to practice it. But I did not go and ask for I need an international projects. I started reading books, I started learning to the tutorial, many videos and audios. And then now my project also got shifted to international, to France. And then the day I got the international projects, I started to practice again in French. And some of my own colleagues with whom I was working in 2011 and 12, they said, Parveez, you're not able to speak in French how you used to do. Then I said, no, there was a little gap, and then I couldn't able to connect with in international projects. So now, Alhamdulillah, still continuing this practice. So able to communicate in French. So do not only have a practice to only speak in French, try to write also in French. So it gives you some your it increases your ability. So now open to question. Any questions, please?
Could you maybe give us a list of resources to learn from, like a book like that you showed us right now?
See, I could say I'll put in chat. I don't know whether
Great.
I have just a minute. I don't know how to.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, hello, sir. I am Dr. Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Director R&D, Gausia College of Engineering.
Oh, yes, sir. Happy to hear this.
Yes, my question is, we have to introduce this in our syllabus itself. All students should learn at least one language as a foreign language, either French or German. Why can't we, I feel that is this one my idea. I feel from your forum, you please help us to make it a very important thing, no, in university itself. All students should learn either French or German. I feel. What is your?
Yes, it's a good feedback, sir. Yes, we
Thank
just
you, sir. From your forum also, you please recommend us and
sure. I'm just trying
thank
to
you very much. It was a nice talk.
thank you, sir.
Dr. Kumar, I can connect with you offline. Can you please put your phone number in the chat box so that we can discuss about it?
Uh,
Dr. Kumar?
so this is one of the resource, Berlitz Francais, and then okay, there is a questions here. Can you please use French words during the session and translate it in English to make more interesting? See, this is what I just few I told some of the you. Do not use translator. So it would be very difficult to learn a language. So why? Because initially, if you start using a translations, for example, if I tell bonjour and then if I tell this is a good morning, your memory will practice this. And if I tell bonjour and I will show you an image, and you will start learning it. So please do not if in the beginning when you learn a new language or a foreign language or a French, please use the words in French itself and then correlate with the images, or use an video to learn it, or an audio. So do not use translation, please. Mm, this is my recommendation. Yes, of course, if you learn French, how will the opportunities for IT software field? See, there are two things. General conversation in French will not support, because you need to learn IT language also in French. For example, some of the IT terminologies. Okay, that is also important to learn in French. Mm. What are the various ways to learn French for learners in terms of read, write, and speak? To read, I just told whichever you books enjoy. Today in the market, there are books in the French language itself. For example, I just told you uh, uh, we have Jungle Book. For example, the story is in English. The same Jungle Book today it's in French. Okay, and some of the novels which you love to read and enjoy, and it's in French. Also, in English, also the same copy is available in French. And also, for example, your religious books, there are in English, also in the French language. Try to purchase these books, or there are Amazon copies as well. And then this is to read. Write, write, you have to practice it. Take a sentence and then start writing it. And to speak, one is there is a app called as Duolingo. Here you can record your audio, and that app will tell you whether you are pronouncing or right or wrong. This is very interesting app, Duolingo. There are some premium. I think there is premium as well. It will record your audio whether your pronunciation is right or wrong. So And other and other things. Any other questions, please?
So any last question from the audience?
Like I know since you're based out of Bangalore, could you maybe suggest a group where you have book reading or people who speak French so that we can interact with them?
In based out in Bangalore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to search for this, and I could give this information to you.
sure.
There are, yes, there are. I could give it to you.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. You are working in any one of the company or any associated to any of the.
I work at Schneider. I work at BGRT.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just recently started, so
Very good. Name, please.
I'm Arslan Ahmed, and I work with the global end-to-end enablement team. I report to Srinivas Surapani.
Okay. You are working in a French organization. There are. Okay, let's connect in offline in office. No issue.
Sure, that'd be helpful.
And another point is, see, your each of us, each one of our companies encourages to learn a language. When you go and tell them, I would like to learn the language to for my to increase my business abilities or to increase my communication, none of your manager will say no. Okay, so you can be a translate. You can act as a translator. So to most of the people in your company. So go discuss with your manager, discuss with your business people, then tell them that because these courses are available in free of cost in your company. So and the two the reputed companies come and coach them, teach them in French.
Sure, I'll
Joined
do that.
joined late. Please say which apps and website. Apps is Duolingo. Just a minute. I think I'm not stop sharing. I'll stop share. I'll give you some of the details what I have. Just a minute. There are Duolingo, Babel. I'll just give this. These are the very beautiful. Yeah, where is this? Zoom. Yeah, it's yeah. Duolingo, Babel, Rosetta Stone, and Memories. So these are the very interactive apps where not only you can speak or basically these apps will record your voice and then they will tell you whether it is right or wrong. So these are very good apps. Start reading the articles or you can yeah another another thing, your own websites of your company are available in other languages. If you just go to your for example, there is one person who said he's from Schneider. I'll just give you. I'll share this. I'll not take more time. I would like to. Yes. See, for example, no. You're able to see my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Just a minute. You see this? This is our website, Schneider Electric website. This is in global. Okay. This is in India. Usually, yeah, it's in France. Because you know the portfolio of your company, you know the framework of your websites, and if you are working in any of the product line, you know that product line better, and then you can correlate. See, this is what creativity is. You can do more and more R&D, go through these websites in the French language, and then start playing with this. So this was one of the example. Yes. So basically, any language which you're learning, learn in all dimensions, not in not only in one dimension. Meaning, you should be able to give a speech in any of the fields. For example, if they even in your religious, or even your technical path, or even in a general thinking or a general conversation. So have a learn a French language or any new language in your all dimensions. So this will make you more stronger. Thank you. Thanks to all to giving me this opportunity to come to this forum and present myself and a few of the learnings what have been learned here in French.
Thank you so much. This session was very helpful, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Parveez bhai, if someone wants to connect with you, can you share some detail, maybe your LinkedIn profile or email address or phone number, whatever
Okay,
is convenient to you? You can.
sure. I'll just put on chat on my LinkedIn profile. Is there, I guess. I'll just a minute. What was there here? I don't know what was there. Yeah. Yes, this is my LinkedIn profile, and then I'll just put my email address as well.
We cannot see it.
I just put on the chat. Not
Can you,
available?
Maybe you'll have to change the recipient to
have
everyone.
you sent to everyone? Just check.
Just a minute. I'll just try to.
You should see a small blue button on the chat.
Okay. Actually, it went to everyone. Okay, I have sent to direct message. Okay, how to make this to everyone? Just a minute. Yeah. Okay, now it will go to everyone. Yes, this is my email address. Sorry, LinkedIn. Now you're able to get the.
Still not.
No.
Can anyone confirm? No, it is not coming to everyone.
No, it's not there yet.
If anyone has received my message, please copy paste it. Yeah, someone has copied.
You WhatsApp to me. I'll put it.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thanks. Have a good Sunday.
No. Send first to me. I have to put in the chat box. Now we can.
Okay.
Okay.
You're able to see now?
Yeah, someone else redirected it.
Okay. Inshallah. Good teamwork.
You can also send the email ID same way.
Email ID. Just a minute. I'll listen.
So we got futureahmed87@gmail.
Yes, that is the email ID.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. You enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks everyone. Jazakumullah khair. With this we close this session. Have a nice day.